It begins quietly. No one notices at first. You're 7 years old, staring into the tired eyes of a parent unraveling. Maybe it's addiction. Maybe it's rage. Maybe it's the heavy silence of someone too broken to care. And without words, something ancient stirs inside your small mind. If I don't keep things together, no one will. This is how a child fades away, not in body, but in spirit. They smile more, cry less. They learn to read every mood before they speak. They become the emotional anchor of the house, little adults in tiny bodies, and the world applauds them. So mature, so responsible, so strong. But no one asks, at what cost? This is the hidden sorrow of those who grew up too soon. And today, we'll explore the heart of that pain. Because it doesn't vanish with time. It shapes who you love, how you work, how you see your worth. And if you never understand it, you'll keep replaying the same survival patterns that once saved you, but now slowly destroy you. Here's what truly happens. When a child must care for adults, instead of being cared for, psychologists call it parentification. It's when the child becomes the parent, the healer, the peacekeeper. It's not just wrong it rewires the brain. When a child constantly manages emotions, theirs or others, the brain develops always scanning for danger, always on edge. You learn that love must be earned, that peace must be paid for, that your needs are dangerous, but theirs are urgent. So you vanish not in body, but in heart. And in your place grows a perfect performer, the good kid, the quiet achiever, the friend who listens but never asks for help. You wear that role so well that even you forget it's an act. But deep inside, something aches, because the child you've buried never died. They're still there, silently asking, why didn't anyone protect me? As you grow, the pain just changes shape. You might become fiercely independent. You reject help, push love our way, never truly relax. You might feel empty even in joy, because happiness feels strange, unsafe. You might chase work and achievements just to feel worthy. And worst of all, you might not see that you're still living in survival mode. When dysfunction becomes your normal, your nervous system mistakes chaos for calm. Stillness feels wrong. Peace feels suspicious. Love feels like a debt you owe. This is the mind of a child forced to grow up too fast. It's not just sadness, it's trauma that reshapes how you see the world and yourself. Why would any child take that role? Because every child will sacrifice anything for love, even themselves. The choice isn't conscious, it's biological. In the absence of safety, they trade authenticity for belonging. That's not weakness. That's intelligence. That's instinct. But the tragedy is this. What once saved you now holds you captive. So many of us walk as high-functioning adults with neglected inner children calling the shots. We overachieve to earn affection, stay silent to avoid rejection, care for everyone while secretly wishing someone would just see us. That dream that someone will notice you're not as strong as you act and hold you while you fall apart is not your adult need. It's your child's The first step to healing isn't fixing, it's witnessing. Because until you acknowledge your story, you'll keep gaslighting yourself with thoughts like it wasn't that bad. Others had it worse. I'm fine. But fine is another mask. Deep down, you know it. That child becomes an adult who never feels safe. A lover who can't trust softness. A giver who can't receive. Someone who apologizes for crying, flinches at kindness, and mistakes exhaustion for success. That's the cost of growing up too fast. When strength replaces softness, silence replaces honesty, and caretaking replaces self-love, what kind of adulthood remains? A life spent holding your breath, waiting for permission to finally rest. But here's the truth. No one is coming to rescue that child. You are the one who must return for them. You must be the voice that says what no one ever said. You didn't deserve that. You were just a child. You can rest now. This is where shadow work begins. Not fixing, not pretending, not escaping, but facing the forgotten parts of yourself and saying, I see you, I hear you, I'm here. That's reparenting, and it's hard because it forces you to feel the grief you never had time to feel, to face the rage, the sadness, the birthdays that no one remembered, to mourn the childhood you spent keeping everyone else safe. But that grief isn't weakness, it's heal, because what was once frozen is finally thawing. In adulthood, these survival habits linger. You become the therapist in every friendship, but never open up. You're praised for your independence, but terrified of being a burden. You overfunction in love, always fixing, explaining, and quietly resenting. You struggle to say no because it still feels like betrayal. These aren't personality traits, they're coping mechanisms. Learned, conditioned, and thankfully, healing starts when you stop worshiping your strength and begin honoring your wounds. Ask your inner child, what did I need back then that I never received? The answers may whisper, I needed to be told it wasn't my fault. I needed someone to ask how I felt. I needed to play, to rest, to laugh without fear. And slowly, you begin to offer those things to yourself, not to fix your past, but to stop reliving it. This is how you stop searching for parents in your partners. How you stop mistaking anxiety for intuition. How you stop running from who you were and start becoming who you truly are. Hung On-se sighed, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. And indeed, people will do anything to avoid meeting their own soul. But healing demands that we face it all, the hidden, the ashamed, the afraid, the furious. Because healing isn't becoming someone new, it's remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. So if you grew up too fast, remember these. Your maturity was never the problem. The problem was that you had no choice. But now you do. You can choose softness. You can choose rest. You can stop managing everyone else's emotions and begin honoring your own. It won't happen overnight. There will be days you feel small again. Good. That's the point. Let that child return. Let them cry. Let them play. Let them be seen. Because you are not broken, you are becoming whole. And maybe, for the first time, you're finally growing up the right way. Not through fear, not through pressure, but through truth. You may not have had a childhood, but you still have a future. And this time, you get to write it. Thank you so much for being here today. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking and subscribing for more content that explores the heart of what it means to be human. Take care of yourself.